Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah. Yang Pravrjantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Viraka Tarua Juhava Putriti Tanmayataya Taruvo Banedos Tang Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vahinai Aparada Lakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadi Kripamaitvam Sharanam Prapadyam Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Najivami tam bina iti vigyaya radhe tam nayamam charanantike. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shri Srimati Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Siksha Gurudev. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shri Srimati Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Gosvami Maharaj, to Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Vigyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, to all the assembled devotees and guests. Welcome to Vedic Tales, Instructive Pastimes. We have a very nice one today, because yesterday, as many of you know, was the appearance day of Srila vrindavandasthakur, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who, in Krishna Lila, is a combination of Srila Vedavyasdev, the literary incarnation of the Lord, and a cowherd boy. They combined together in the body of vrindavandasthakur in Chaitanya Lila, and he wrote Chaitanya Bhagwat, a most amazing text about the early and mid pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Heart-melting. So in there are many pastimes of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, his Mahaprabhu's chief assistant, and who is non-different from Balaram, the first expansion and brother of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. So we hear a very instructive pastime about his mercy. When Nityananda Prabhu was in Navadvip, he was staying at the home of a great devotee of his named Hiranya Pandit. At that time, there was a so-called Brahmana who was actually a great DACOIT, thief, murderer, plunderer, and he was the leader of a big gang of thieves. When they saw Nityananda Prabhu with very valuable necklaces, bracelets, other jewelry, they naturally decided, let's steal that. So he got his troops together, and with swords and other weapons, axes, they were set out to rob Nityananda Prabhu. However, I forgot to mention that they were devotees of the demigoddess Chandi, who's like Durga or Kali, who of course is the shadow of Nityananda Prabhu's consort, Jadurani Devi. So on the night that they planned their thievery, all of a sudden they just got so tired. They just fell asleep. And the next morning when they woke up, they started blaming each other. You were the one who fell asleep first. Oh, right, you were up all night and that's how you knew who was asleep and who wasn't. Anyway, they decided not to fight, but to wait till the next opportunity for stealing. So that night, they were just about to set out to steal when Nityananda Prabhu was inside Hiranya Pandit's house, enjoying dinner, prasadam, and surrounded by so many loving devotees. And outside the house, there were big, strong, beautiful guards with powerful weapons pacing back and forth with flower garlands and chanting loudly the holy names of the Lord. So they speculated about why those guards might be there, but then finally they decided wasn't the right time. The guards looked too formidable. So so they decided, let's wait a few nights. So a few nights later, they thought, yes, tonight is the night. They gathered all of their strength, their weapons, and they marched forward. During their march, all of a sudden, the whole sky became black, and they couldn't see a thing. Then they actually became blind. Then, in their blindness, they started falling into ditches and trenches. And then all of a sudden, Indra, who's the demigod of the rains, the storms, and a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, he decided to assist Nityananda Prabhu in teaching those thieves a lesson. So he made a big hailstorm happen. So between the darkness of the night, their own blindness, and the hailstorms, they were falling into ditches, into trenches, eaten alive by mosquitoes, leeches, spiders, other very dangerous insects. One of them fell into a ditch of thorns. He couldn't even move. He was just so stuck on all sides of his body by the thorns. And they were all in excruciating pain. And this lasted hours and hours. Finally, the leader realized, oh, wait a minute. The first night we failed. We thought, oh, he just naturally fell asleep. But now I'm thinking this Nityananda Prabhu is not an ordinary person. He's very, very powerful. We think by his mystic power, he made him fall asleep. And the next night, those guards I was thinking previously that these guards were probably hired by one of Nityananda Prabhu's rich guests, rich devotees. But now I think they are the power of Nityananda themselves. And then our third try, look at how he suffered. So, the leader and then his followers immediately realized we've made a big offense. He's actually the Lord of our Chandi. Oh, on the second night they realized, oh, I know why we failed, because we didn't worship Chandi. So then they worshiped Chandi on the third night, but gee whiz, look what happened. Because Chandi, Durga, Kali, they're all devotees of Nityananda Prabhu too. They're his illusory Shakti. So then, that Brahmana ran, the leader, the so-called Brahman, ran to Nityananda Prabhu while he was surrounded by his devotees, hung onto his lotus feet, wept profusely, and so much deeply apologized. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he saw the bright side like Krishna does. So he said, oh, you're such a pious Brahmana. Otherwise you wouldn't be behaving like this. Please tell me something about Krishna and soothe my heart. So instead of telling about Krishna, he told about himself. I'm a bogus DACOIT. I pretend to be a Brahmin. I kill, I cheat, I steal. I do all sinful activities. On the first night we did this to you, second night this, the third night that, and finally we realized I'm so sinful. Please deliver me. The people of the town who were there, they knew this horrible so-called Brahmin, and they were wondering, is he joking? Does he have some wicked plan as usual? But then Nityananda Prabhu touched him, and all of a sudden he started dancing in rapturous ecstasy and singing the holy names of the Lord and weeping for his grievous offenses at the same time. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu instructed him, now go to all of your Brahmin friends and teach them, your DACOIT friends, teach them to change their ways and to become devotees of Lord Chaitanya. And that's exactly what that ex-thief did. And he became a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, and so did his DACOIT friends. So, Vrindavandasthakur is showing by this pastime that was revealed in his heart. Actually, he himself did not write the Chaitanya Bhagwat, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke Chaitanya Bhagwat, his own pastimes, through the pen of Vrindavandasthakur, teaching how dangerous it is to be offensive to the Supreme Lord. And even in the name of demigod worship, how those demigods are so not pleased with that worship if one is offensive to the Supreme Lord. Interestingly, Vrindavan Das ended the pastime by saying that anyone who, hearing all these pastimes, does not take shelter of my Nityananda Prabhu, then I kick on his head. So, oh, that sounds so mean to do, but actually it's causeless mercy, because there are three powerful substances that purify the heart. The padaduli, the dust of the pure devotee, his foot-bathing water, and his prasadam. Prasadam comes in two ways, as his food remnants and as his harikatha. So the fact that Vrindavandasthakur said, I'll kick on his head, means since they're not getting my mercy just by hearing, which is the natural way to get mercy, hearing these pastimes, I'll have to give them extra mercy by giving them the dust of the lotus feet, of my lotus feet on their heads to purify them and give them love of God. So devotees, Supreme Lord, are all merciful and always endeavoring to deliver us fallen souls. And we pray in so many of the songs to Nityananda Prabhu, Nitai Padakamalam, Kotis Chandra Sushitala. O Lord Nityananda, you are as effulgent as millions of suns. Please give me mercy, give me Braj Bhakti, and love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.